Now that you've issued all those new iPads to the sales team, you're getting all sorts of additional information back, right? No, probably not. Not without some heavy customization. And that's the topic I want to talk to you about today, and the tool that we've built so that you can take that hardware and enhance it with your regular documents to start to track real-time data as your sales team is out there talking to your customer base. One of the issues is that during a business conversation, you'll have these gems of information that come up, and even when presenting with technology, you're still going to need to take notes, do some disruptive things like try and retain it to memory, record the conversation, which is illegal in a lot of states, or something like that to be able to keep track of what's happened during the conversations. In fact, over the course of time, many conversations. So the organization, though, wants information back as soon as possible. Yes, you've got sales reporting systems, but most of those systems give information much further down the pipeline than you'd like to see it. Relevant information really just starts to get serious in capital equipment sales maybe halfway through the process. So how do you get information right up front? How do you attain information from your sales team except through written reports? And my experience with that has been, well, let me just run through it with you. As a sales rep, I used to have to do written reports, and I hated them. I didn't want to write them. I thought it was vague information, and I was convinced that nobody back at the office was reading them. Then as a national sales manager, I was frustrated because the reports I were getting were rather redundant, minimalistic, and really didn't give me a lot of meat to work with. Certainly not a lot of information to be able to enhance training for the sales team or improve the sales performance of the sales team. When I moved into marketing and launched my first new product, one of the things that I saw was we did a lot of preparation on brand messaging. We did a lot of preparation training the sales team, getting them ready to go out there and sending them off, and then for months we heard nothing. And it was just very quiet. And I started to think a lot about that as to why we don't get that information. Certainly within the sales reporting system, you got number of calls per day and things like that, but you really didn't get information as far as customer feedback and what was going on within the account. Capital equipment, which I have experience with, tends to take a fairly long time, 6 months, year and a half, and those conversations tend to repeat themselves, and there's layers of information that's put in front of a customer to try and convince them of the buy. Well, back in the office as a marketing manager and later a director of marketing communications for a Fortune 500 company, we would like that information as soon as possible so that we could modify the program or address those issues that may come up in front of the customer. And all with a sense of helping the sales team improve their performance out in the field, not necessarily to be a watchful eye of what's going on, but just to be able to contribute to the messaging that's going on and hopefully close the sales much quicker. So what we've done with Adafield is created an infrastructure that you can take your current documents and simply import them into our tool. You'll use them just as you do now on an iPad or a desktop. Those documents will be prepared so that you can put pre-connected data fields above that information. And when the sales rep then presents, they're going to be able to interact with those data fields and indicate whether there's interest, indicate what they've discussed. These data fields will permit them to expand on the information that they're presenting. They'll be able to go to things like video links and any links to additional information, additional references, things like that. And the goal here is to eliminate manual reporting by the sales team. We believe that we can track every interaction between that customer and the salesperson during that presentation and do it automatically. In fact, I think the key is that we want to add value to the sales team in addition to adding value to the organization. So we add little things in there like being able to have an instant email summary that goes out to a customer. And that email summary will have key points that were discussed during the conversation and a link to the presentation that they saw. What's interesting about the link is if that customer then goes back to the link, we'll have a follow-up email to the sales rep so that they know the customer went back and reviewed some of the information that was presented. I think you're going to love the use of the tool, the simplicity of it. Literally within minutes we can have you up and running. Within a day we can have you deployed to your entire sales team. So I would ask you to go out to www.adafield.com and give it a try. We've got a 15-day free trial. Thanks for listening.